Hi there, we are Lisa and Chris. Please join us aboard our main ship 390, Cool Beans, as we cruise America's Great Loop. Good morning.
Good morning.
Where are we?
We are just north of Beaufort, South Carolina.
Where are we headed?
Somewhere close to Charleston. We're probably 45 or 50 miles today and give us a short day tomorrow to go to Charleston.
That's right. How was Anchorage last night?
It was fantastic for one of us.
That's right. And I guess that would be you.
I slept like a baby.
I did not, but I should have. It all was fine.
The boat swung around as expected when the tide changed.
Yep.
Other than that, we didn't move.
We didn't. Tonight will be better.
Absolutely.
All right. Talk to you later. This is the Marine base in Beaufort. Their water side. Not a lot interesting to look at, but we're not going over there. So we found a great little anchorage called White Point Landing to stay for the night. We did a little boat maintenance. Specifically, we washed and conditioned the dinghy. Being out in the sun all day does a number on the plastic, so I keep it conditioned to preserve it. We enjoyed a gorgeous sunset, and you can see we have the anchor light on, and also when we anchor out, I turn on my rope lights and put them on white. You never can be too careful. Travel day 33. We went 33 nautical miles from Beaufort, South Carolina to Edistoisland, South Carolina. This week's interesting boat information has to do with setting an anchor alarm. If you don't know what that is, it's an app on your phone that you use to set the position of your anchor and a radius. And if your phone goes outside of that radius, a loud alarm will go off to alert you that your boat is possibly drifting. When set correctly, this gives me so much peace of mind when we're at anchor. I do tend to worry that the waves and wind will dislodge the anchor and we will set off drifting. We didn't go over the anchor alarm with our training captain, so it was up to us to figure it out. I never really knew how to calculate the radius, so I guessed, and that caused some issues. But after doing some research, both online and in real life, I figured out what works for us. But disclaimer, this is not scientific. It's just what I do. You need to figure out what works for you the best. So before you can calculate, you need these numbers. The length of the boat, we are at 39 foot, but let's round to 40. The depth of the water where you're anchoring, let's go with 10 feet here. And the length of your anchor and chain that you throw out. Normal conditions, we use 1 to 5, meaning if we're in 10 foot of water, we throw out 50 foot of chain. I add a margin to avoid any false alarms, and that turns out to be 125 foot radius. Okay, so we're not really anchoring right now, but I just wanted to show you what it looks like to set the anchor. So, assuming we've set the anchor, this would be off. This is the anchor lock. The anchor would be down. Let's say we put out 50 foot of chain. What I would do is I would open up the anchor app, and first it says set allowed distance. I'll show you a screenshot of this in a minute, but I put in 125 feet just like we calculated. And then what I do, don't laugh, is kind of where we've set the anchor or where it's dropped down, I hit set anchor. And it says current location or relative location. I pick current. And now the anchor alarm's set. I can look at a map and you can see the radius. I'll screenshot this so you can see it. But basically, that's how I set the anchor alarm. Leaving our anchorage the next morning, headed to Charleston, we saw some beautiful homes on the water. This creek took us directly into the Charleston Bay. Once in the bay, we saw some magnificent homes on the water's edge. Charleston is a peninsula. We came in from the west and our marina was on the east side of the city. Just so happens to be directly across from the USS Yorktown, a naval aircraft carrier. We got settled in and enjoyed visiting with the dockmaster for a bit, learning about the area. Travel day 34. We went 25 nautical miles from Edistoisland, South Carolina to Charleston, South Carolina. We woke up ready to see the city. First stop was the South Carolina Aquarium. We loved it so much. It was first class. These otters were hilarious. They enjoyed performing for us. They have a sea turtle hospital where we saw this girl, Eleanor, in her mid-stages of treatment. More turtles, fish, seahorses, lobsters, so fun. And I really enjoyed this aquarium that had the coral and plants made from Legos. So creative. There was an exhibit of art made with plastics found in the ocean. And topping the morning off, they have a bald eagle exhibit. Liberty was found injured and has been with the aquarium for 15 years now. After lunch, we took a walk to the historic district of Charleston. We saw so many wonderful examples of architecture and landscaping. We went to the historic City Market of Charleston with over 300 vendors in these buildings spanning several blocks. After eating lunch and of course an ice cream, we walked back to the marina. I enjoyed the sidewalks in Charleston, most of which are not regular concrete. They are bricks, cobblestones, and other stones and are really quaint. We love Charleston and will definitely go back and spend more time there someday. Good morning.
Good morning.
Where are we leaving and where are we going?
Just left Charleston, spent a couple of days there. Wonderful town, really enjoyed being there.
Me too.
And we're headed to Polly's Island.
That's right. It's a little past Georgetown, South Carolina. All right. Well, the terrain, you just made a comment that it's flat, and what else did you say?
It's very flat. There's a reason they call it the low country.
Yes, for sure. There's some houses way behind you, but yeah, it's just really marshy, low country area, and there's really nobody on the water. Our friends are behind us on Tranquility. I don't know, about 15 minutes behind us, so we're headed the same direction.
They just ran aground about 20 minutes ago. Fortunately, they worked their way off.
Yes.
The tide is falling, so if they wouldn't have been able to work the boat off, it was going to be even worse. Water's going to drop about another foot from where it's at right now.
Yeah, you know, and you can't always be somewhere at high tide. Obviously, there's low tides twice a day. So we just do our best, and, you know, you got through the area by the skin of the teeth, and he didn't, but he said he used his thrusters and kind of wiggled his way off, and he's back underway. So yay! All right, talk to you later. We saw this NOAA ship, which stands for National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. And this behemoth ship was just anchored out. Chris figured it was waiting for its harbor pilots or tug guides. and we laughed at this fireboat. Practicing, I guess? We saw smoke up ahead, and I looked it up. It was what we thought, another prescribed burning by the state, similar to what we showed you on Lake Okeechobee. The South Carolina Forestry Commission was burning 100 acres. Reason stated for wildlife management, and that's defined as improving habitat for wildlife species by stimulating fruit and seed production, increasing herb and hardwood sprouts, and creating openings for feeding and travel. I want you to see how clean this water is. It's very gorgeous. It's almost like we're in Florida, South Florida. Nice and clean. It's not muddy. Love it. We came across a new type of bridge. This is a floating swing bridge. This bridge connects the Tom Yawkey Wildlife Center in Georgetown, South Carolina with the mainland. The Wildlife Center is known as one of the premier nesting grounds for the federally endangered loggerhead sea turtle and for its extensive turtle conservation program. The bridge rests on pontoons and just swings over to the other side when deployed. Travel day 35. We went 63 nautical miles from Charleston, South Carolina to Pawleys Island, South Carolina. What's your tip of the week?
This week's tip is, it's called Bob's Tracks 423. And we had kept hearing about Bob's Tracks and didn't really know what it was. And anyway, as y'all know, a couple of weeks ago we ran aground and we got off pretty easy. And then our friends, they ran aground right after we did in a different location. And so he installed Bob Tracks on his Navionics, and he was telling us and explaining how it works. And so we installed it also. Your chart plotter and your Navionics is all going to give you guidance on the best path to go. Bob's Tracks varies from that, and his tracks are better than what's on Navionics. And if you will just go to your search engine and search Bob's Tracks 423, it'll pop right up. There's tons of different ones, and you download it and it'll overlay right on top of Navionics. It'll also overlay Aquamaps. I'm not sure if it works with ProCharts or not, but it's highly recommended. There's going to be times when it sends you outside the channel when you think that it makes no sense, but everybody that's using it swears by it. Look it up, Bob's Tracks 423.
And what location is it good for?
It's good from Fort Lauderdale to Norfolk, Virginia, the Atlantic Intracoastal Waterways.
That's right. All right, I'll put a link on and I'll show a screenshot.
Yeah, do some close-up screenshots.
Okay, will do. Good tip.
As you can see in the picture, the small dash line is where the center of the channel should be. The magenta line is Navionics' recommended path. The yellow line is Bob's Tracks' recommended path. From the people we've talked to and personal experience as well, Bob's Tracks definitely seems to be the most safe and most accurate.
It was a beautiful day to travel, and we thought this area was so pretty. We were sent this video of us going by the area. This guy takes videos of boats that pass him and he posts them on Facebook. He hailed us on the VHF and told us where to find it. Very nice footage of cool beans. We saw more bald eagles, and this is a nest, and I used the binoculars to see her little white head popping out of her nest. Another swing bridge, and some absolutely stunning homes on the waterfront. This waterway was pretty narrow. Look at how close we were to this tow. More beautiful homes in Myrtle Beach, and we finally arrived at our destination, Barefoot Marina. We had dinner with our looper friends on Tranquility and had a great night's sleep. Travel Day 36. We went 35 nautical miles from Pawleys Island, South Carolina to North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. While this isn't really a functioning lighthouse, I took a picture anyway. And near the South Carolina-North Carolina border, there's a boat casino called the Big M. No, we didn't stop. Oh gosh, North Carolina has some beautiful beaches on the ICW, and this is just a narrow strip of land separating the ICW from the Atlantic Ocean. Travel Day 37. We went 41 nautical miles from North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina to Southport, North Carolina. So we vowed last weekend that we would not travel on Saturdays, mainly due to the weekend boaters that are out in full force, and trying to dodge them in their wakes was getting to be no fun. So to do something fun, we took a ferry, which the terminal is in our marina, over to a nearby island, Baldhead Island. BHI is a neat little place located at the mouth of the Cape Fear River. It ends where the treacherous sandbars known as Frying Pan Shoals begin. Large sandbars seasonally emerge from and subsequently retreat into the sea. It is thought that Baldhead Island emerged from one such sandbar, stabilized by the establishment of plant life, creating a permanent island. According to local lore, the headland was worn bare of vegetation, making it stand out in contrast to the forest behind it. This, quote, bald headland served as a reference point for ships entering the river, and the name Baldhead Island has endured. Our ferry trip took a quick 20 minutes, and we arrived to find that there are no cars on the island, only bikes and golf carts allowed. We walked over to a fun restaurant, Jules, and had the best jerk shrimp tacos I have ever eaten. We walked over to the lighthouse, Old Baldy, and saw a few buildings that make up the town center, the post office, the civic center, and the village chapel. After an ice cream, we boarded the ferry back to our marina and cool beans. It was a fun day. And as per usual, we stayed put during the thunderstorms Saturday night and Sunday.
Welcome back aboard Cool Beans. Had another fantastic week on the water.
We did.
We started the week off at Anchor in Beaufort, South Carolina.
Outside, well, no, we left Beaufort and went to Edistoisland,
Okay.
another anchorage. Yep.
And
Left there, went to Charleston.
Charleston, spent 2 nights in Charleston.
Love Charleston.
That is a fantastic place. I understand why so many people want to visit and live there. Went to the aquarium there. That was really nice.
Walked the historic district, went to the market.
Went to the market downtown, walked through all the shops. That was really, really nice.
French
Enjoyed
Quarter.
that. French Quarter, beautiful architecture.
Yes.
Just a wonderful place to be.
I'd like to go back. Would you?
Sure.
Okay. We left Charleston and went to, we went past Georgetown, so we didn't stay in Georgetown like some loopers. We stayed at Polly's Island. It was a little neighborhood marina, and I just loved it. It was
right on the
very
river.
quiet, right on the river, free laundry. I mean, loopers know free laundry is the best perk. Did 4 loads, and then we left there, went to Waka Waka, filled up with diesel, and kept going and went to Barefootlanding, and that is in North Myrtle Beach.
That is another nice marina right on the river.
Yep.
Tons of restaurants right there.
Yep.
We ate at the one closest to the marina. Really, really enjoyed it.
We did.
And we left Barefootlanding and came to,
well, where we are now. So it's
Southport.
Yesterday we came to Southport, North Carolina. So we crossed over yesterday. And
we'll probably be spending a few days here. We got bad weather coming.
Well, and we have vowed the last month or so not to travel on Saturdays. It's just the boat traffic, inexperienced boaters are just, it's so crazy. So I said, okay, we're not going to travel. So we're here. It's a beautiful day. We just did some fun things that you probably just saw in the video. Went to Baldhead Island. But we're going to sit tight for tonight and tomorrow night, and we'll see what Monday brings if we can leave, right?
Sounds good.
Yeah. Well, all right. That's our recap. Another beautiful week on the water.
About 175 miles.
Yeah, we didn't do as much this week as last week, but we're headed up to our final destination. Our first goal is Norfolk. We want to get there by May 1st. There's something that we want to do there that you'll see. But hopefully we'll get there. We're just taking our time, but yet moving along, if that makes any sense at all.
We've got about 350 miles to get to Norfolk and 2 weeks to get there, so we'll be fine.
We should be fine. All right. Love to everybody, friends and family.
See y'all next week aboard Cool Beans.